whenever I have film pictures developed, I usually let them sit for like a year, and then I come back to them, because that way I have the memory of taking the pictures and the memory of seeing them now separated, so I can be a little less biased, and I can actually see like, wow, that picture actually is pretty good, or that's pretty bad. And so I've been sitting on these for a while from Rhodes Camera Shop. I took them up in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I bet you know where this is going. And, well, I guess now's the best time to do it, because this is a relic of a bygone era. It's funny what happens in 10 months. But Rhodes Camera Shop was burned down by the riots. Our self-imposed, unelected, terrorist overlords have decided you don't have the right to have access to a camera shop, because they probably saw Nazis in there or something. Oh, yes, 35mm film, so racist. It never was about race, because race doesn't exist. It's the crazies, it's the sanes versus the insanes. That's what it is. And, well, I guess now is a good time to open this up, but unfortunately I think I took out the film for, I was doing some projector experiment with 35mm film, but I have pictures that I took with my camera of the negatives back then, so at least we can still see them. So it is funny, a lot of them are literally just, they're literally just screenshots of Final Fantasy. But, you know, they're actual screenshots then. They're not just digital, they're actually film screenshots. I didn't have much to take pictures of. I was expecting, oh, you know what? I did take some other pictures with the camera, but what I realized after the first test reel, because I had a bunch of film that Thermionic gave me, because he found like a whole box of it in his basement he never used, and it was expired film, I was thinking, chances are it'd probably still work, and it seems like it turned out pretty well. However, the camera that I had, turns out the iris is totally fucked, so it's always on maximum. So really, I quickly learned after this first reel of film, or this first thing of film. Oh, and also I think the number, it was busted, so I couldn't tell which frame I was on. I'll have to get one of my better 35mm cameras for that. But I have quite a few. I have some nice Japanese ones from the 60s or whatever. There's a few pictures that are actually of Kenosha. Like one, I remember I took one in a kitchen. I haven't actually looked at it yet, so I'm just going off memory. I'll have to go, I hope I have the pictures. That would be a real shame to film this and not have the pictures. But I remember there's a really nice street where there's like a pub. I can't remember which street it is, but I think I took a picture of that. I may have taken a picture of the lake. I might have, but that might have been on the second reel that I still haven't finished nor developed, which I might have to either finish up that reel or transfer it to a new camera or fix the lens. I don't know. But yeah, I never really was that into the United States. I just don't feel like it's my country, so I'm always kind of hands off. I don't get the fighting between sides. It's just a load of nonsense when nothing gets done. Nothing really impacts your life. And, but at this point I feel kind of dragged into it. And I guess peace was never an option. It's a shame, but, well, like that what was his name? Kyle Rittenhouse, whatever his name is. The media is all smearing him. I went into watching his video thinking that he'd be like a bad killer, but I watched it and I was like, that's fucking epic. The way he popped those guys, that was pretty cool. And now there's evidence coming out that evidently he didn't even start any shooting. There was somebody else shooting, from what I can tell, and everyone decided that guy's a gun, let's kill him. So they started attacking him, and so he had to defend himself. I do have a more negative opinion of the United States at the moment, because it seems like people are just willing to let their country burn. And is that really a country I want to be associated with? I don't know. Because if there's more people like Kyle that actually have the empathy to go somewhere else to protect somebody else's property and livelihood, like Rhodes Camera, It's been there for 108 fucking years, and now all of a sudden, some unelected, self-imposed terrorist overlords decided, nah, fuck that. You don't need that. We want to burn it down. I just don't know what to say. Except for the fact that it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. I don't think they realize what they're doing, because gun sales have just been off the fucking charts. Like, if they really want to start a war, it's gonna be a mess, because it does feel kind of like a war from what I've heard from their Mountain Man and stuff. It's kind of a war up there, and if people can't get their shit together and act reasonable to one another, then it's just gonna be a bit of a powder keg. And especially because a lot of people, like, I've seen must be 200 pro-Trump signs. Everyone seems to have a positive opinion about Trump whenever I talk to them in person. It's only the media that seems to hate him, and people on Twitter. I saw one Biden sign. I think it's safe to say that Trump's just gonna win flat out. And when that happens, there's probably gonna be a shit hits the fan moment where the media is gonna try to drum up another hate mob and set it loose for whatever mischievous reason they're doing that for, because I do think the media is kind of at the heart of this, because they're like, here's something to be angry about. Be angry about this. Go burn down your town for whatever reason. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go back to Final Fantasy, because politics there is a lot funner. I might do a video someday. I was actually thinking about, I might do a video, a bit of a trolling post, where it's like, my political opinions in 2020, and it's just about, like, Eorzine politics. That would be hilarious, I think. But yeah, like, somehow, having the opinion that writing is bad, oh, shoot me, because it's evidently now I'm a Nazi for thinking that free speech is good and people should have equal rights. Oh, I know, such a fucking Nazi. Yeah. I hope they rebuild it, but it really depends on if there's a place left to rebuild it in, you know, because if you don't have a city, what's the use of the camera shop? I don't know. Well, I wish the Roads luck in rebuilding their camera shop, and I wish Kenosha luck in regaining some order with their just insanity. And I wish the United States luck in not being such a shithole country with bad culture anymore, and people that actually have some goal and some interest. Like, I know it's a bit hypocritical for me to say, but I don't hate the country. Exactly. I find it a bit, what's the term, goosh, whatever the term is, but I don't really, you know, I just don't personally think that it matches me. But I'm not going to, but I definitely wish good for the country, you know, because it's a good foundation. You don't burn down a good foundation, just kind of slight tweaking. I keep updating, tinkering. That's the best thing. Always make little bitty changes that make things better. That's the best way to go about things. Gradually improving, not just deciding to burn everything down and rebuilding and then realizing you're out in the rain until you rebuild the house. I should stop there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.